Hello and welcome to the Jay Duke Show on Horse Network. We have rising American star Bliss Heers on the show today, and we're going to have all sorts of wonderful things to talk about her, including a possible appearance at Tokyo 2021. The Jay Duke Show is brought to you by Equishopper today, and thank you so much for them being on board. This is a really cool company. Equishopper is the first and ultimate online marketplace. It has a unique shopping experience, end-to-end, created for the modern equestrian. They connect equestrians with experts, professionals, and others who share your passion. Shop the best products worldwide, all within a single community of vibrant and engaged equestrians like yourself. I was checking this out. They have this newsletter where you can sign up. You can receive tips on riding, training, and horse care from different experts in the industry. It's a really cool feature and really keeps you involved in the horse community. So check out equishopper.com. I'm going to bring on Bliss Heers, my guest for today. And Bliss has many international victories, including the Hollywood Reporter Trophy at the 2014 Longines Los Angeles Masters, and in 2015, the CSI 3-star in Denmark. Bliss also won the 3-star class in Denmark, in another place in Denmark as well that year. Her recent wins include the 2021 $50,000 Adequan West Challenge Round 4 CSI 4-star, the 2019 CSI 3-star in Leer, Belgium, and the 2019 Spruce Meadows Continental 5-star with her superstar horse Antidote to Mars. Bliss, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you so much. I apologize. We're getting a little bit of feedback there. I'm not sure if that's me, but I'm sure Carly will work on it. So, Bliss, let's get right to it. You are the first person I've interviewed from Las Vegas as a rider. That's not your typical place where people sign up and go to start off with their riding careers. So welcome to that and congratulations on that. Let's start. How did you begin with show jumping? How did that all get started?
Well, to be honest, it was actually my parents that were more involved when I was younger. They had horses when they were kids. And my dad actually, he ran triathlons, and one day while training and running in California, he came across a stable and he saw this young Irish guy jumping these massive fences, and they became friends, and next thing you know, he was riding with him, which kind of went on to encourage my mom and I to take lessons together. Directly caught the bug, and here we are.
And here you are. And that gentleman that you were riding, that was Damien Gardner, who was an old friend of mine from Ireland and a very successful Irish rider. And so you got the bug that way, and then you got connected with the legendary Hap Hansen. So what happened there, and tell us about that experience.
Well, my parents were training with Hap before. And okay, so living in California, Hap was our neighbor, and my dad, he's in construction development, and he built a place. We had our own stable, our own arena, and with Hap being our neighbor, he could come over and help us out. And yeah, I mean, as I continued riding, he would always encourage me to come over to his stable and ride a few horses. And I mean, he had me riding so many horses. It was really an experience, and it was so much fun.
Well, Hap, I rode against Hap forever. And one thing, I mean, not only was he a brilliant and amazing rider, his work ethic was just so incredible. I remember there's days, and I'd be at the horse show, and it'd be 6, 7 p.m. and I'd be on my 18th horse of the day, and I'd be Hap, what number is that for you? And he goes, "Oh, it's number 24." And I was like, man, every day he bets me that way. Such a great work ethic and such a great rider. So was that part of how it developed for you and created your career, watching everything he put into his riding?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're on a horse sun up to sundown, and he genuinely enjoyed it. I mean, we all genuinely enjoyed it. Every moment was fun, and it was a learning experience because of all the different horses he put me on. But not just that, it was always so positive, and he always just said, trust yourself, and whatever the situation was, it was always looked upon with a positive attitude. So, yeah.
Yeah, he was very, very positive and really had a great message all the time, and was just such a pleasure to have around at all of the horse shows. So what a great experience for you. So for young riders coming up, there's so many different ways of getting there, and so many different. I love to see how different people. I mean, Margie grew up on a farm chasing cows around, and different people have grown up through the equitation ring and the Maclay finals and things like that. You chose to go off to Europe for a long period of time and get a lot of training. And tell us about how that influenced you with everything. I know you learned a lot with flat work and a lot with competition over there. And tell us about the difference in the European style.
Well, there I have to say, okay, so here I did grow up with a basic equitation, and I did do hunters and equitation a bit as a kid. But going there, it is a lifestyle. Everyone has a horse. Everyone is brought up in a horsey environment, more or less, a majority. And you, from the beginning, you are presented with the fundamentals. If you want to ride, you go to school to ride. You have to, from the very basics, from mucking stalls and knowing the parts of a horse, and grooming to basic flat work, basic dressage. It's a lot more, let's see. There's a lot more emphasis on the basics and the fundamentals. It's not just going in the ring and competing. It's about the horse and the horsemanship.
Yeah, and the horsemanship, that's such an important part of success, especially sustained success in the show jumping ring. And so if you can talk a little bit about who over there influenced you and how that was taught to you. And again, do you feel that the European system is different from a horsemanship point of view than the American system? I know obviously there's similarities, but do they kind of have their own take on that?
Yeah, I would say that the European system is more of it is more of a lifestyle, I think. You eat, breathe, sleep horses. Here, I think it is looked upon. I'm not going to say it's not a lifestyle for every one of us that is a professional. It's horses 24/7, but it's from there. For them, it's from a very small age, or young age. And when I was there, you arrive and it's just, you show up at the show and everyone is there riding their horse first thing in the morning, and all the top professionals. And I just got to see all these families and Lugerbaum and his family and the way that he structures his life, and all of the top professionals. It's truly, every day is horses. And you really appreciate that, and it's a way of life.
Yes, it is. And we had Luger as a guest on the show, and it was amazing, his lifestyle, and having everything that he had to share with us was absolutely incredible. So what a great experience for you to have that, and that's going to stay with you forever. We're going to just take a quick commercial break. We're going to see if we can get Bliss's connection a little bit better. So we're going to hear from Equishopper. Thank you very much to them. And we'll be back in 30 seconds, and we'll see if we can get a little better connection here through our wonderful friend, the internet. Thank you. All right, welcome back to the Jay Duke Show on Horse Network. I'm here with American superstar Bliss Heers, and she's joining us from Wellington, Florida, and she's just talking to us about her experiences in Europe and how amazing that was. So currently you're training with Michael Matz, another former guest on the Jay Duke Show, good friend of mine and just an amazing horseman, and such a privilege to watch him and see everything that he's done. And you're getting to personally train with Mr. Matz. So what an amazing experience that is. So please, give us a little inside information on what that's like.
Well, I got to start training with Michael during COVID last year, and it was, basically everything that surrounds Michael is basically simplicity and just allowing the horse to be a horse, and bringing it back to the basics. And he learned so much from Bert Denemeth, and his way of riding. It exemplifies all of Denemeth's, the way he rode, the flat work in particular. So being able to train with Michael, it's an unbelievable experience, and to feel what you can accomplish with each horse, just on the flat, and getting the connection, and just through flat work and your position, your hands, and the way that impacts the quality of canter, the quality of your jump, and your balance on course. It's incredible. And he's just, he has so much wisdom and such a calm mannerisms. It gives you a lot of confidence, and it simplifies everything, and it really just lets you focus on the horse and the tasks at hand. So rather than making a big complicated story on how to do this, it's basically just keeping it simple.
Yeah, he really is amazing. That he rode like that. He's trained like that. His philosophy in life is like that. And it's amazing. Because he was, of course, in the racehorse industry for several years and had, kind of disappeared from the show jumping world so much. And I know he's helping Lucy Delorier some, and he's been a great influence with her, and of course with you. And I don't think there's any there's all big correlation there. The fact that you and Lucy are doing so well, and that Mr. Matz is coaching you. So that's what an amazing opportunity for you. I remember having a clinic with him, and he was the person that taught me how to put a horse on the bridle, actually. And how he did that within a few hours, I don't know, but I've never forgotten those lessons, and it was such a great experience. So how would you say today, there's so many young riders out there, so many people that just love the sport. What are one or two keys to success that are the most important that you think that young riders, young ladies or young guys should be focusing on to have as much success in the show ring as possible?
I think the most important thing is to remember why you started, why you get on a horse every day. So whenever you go into the ring and have a bad day or you're riding, first and foremost, remember why you love doing it. Secondly, just focus on the fundamentals of it. If you ever get tangled up and you're just stuck in a rut, just go back to the fundamentals, and again, back to why you do what you do, why you love the horses. It's really not more than that. The whole sport is supposed to be about that. So if you're a young rider and you're looking to get to the top, just be patient, dedicate yourself, and focus on enjoying it.
Yeah, and that's great advice. And how do you tackle when you have a problem? Like, let's say you go in a big class and you have 12 faults type of thing. So you have a bad day and a poor result. So how do you come out the next day as far as your mindset? Like, ride with confidence and not let that sit with you and become an issue moving forward. And that's such a problem for riders. They'll make one mistake and they think it's the end of the world. And we explained to them, look, every rider makes mistakes. It's a very difficult sport, of course. So how does Bliss Heers deal with that when you've had a day that doesn't go according to plan, and then you're out the next morning? Do you just completely put that out of your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. You analyze what went wrong. Obviously, in our sport, there's always going to be more lows and highs between your own personal faults and things that maybe happen with a horse. Or the weather, or there's so many factors. So yeah, you analyze where you went wrong, what happened, and then you forget about it. Go back to your plan. You approach the next day with confidence that it is another day. It's a new day. You've trained for this. You know what you're doing. Even if it seems like it's more difficult, it's really not. It's in your head. You jump each jump as it comes. And that's it. It's nothing more than that.
Yeah, well, simplicity is best if you can get to it. There's no question about that. And that is one of the biggest challenges of being an athlete in any sport, is trying to keep things as basic and simple as you can, and focusing on the fundamentals. That takes an incredible strength of will and focus to get there. And, my advice to people would be stay patient, trust in yourself and give it time, and you will achieve that as well. So you had a major injury in 2018 where you basically broke your body up pretty good. You had 5 broken vertebrae, you broken pelvis, and a dislocated hip when a horse went over top of you. So let's talk about coming back from that. Like, if you could touch on the physical challenges of coming back from an injury like that, and the mental challenges of riding again.
Well, physically, it was just a matter of patience and time. Being dedicated enough to actually go do some physical therapy, and just being dedicated to that, and having a clear mindset that all I really wanted to do was get back on a horse. Whether or not that was going to work out or not, that was my mindset. And sure enough, basically as soon as I could walk again, I was bound and determined to get back on the horse, because that is the rule. Fall off the horse, get back on the horse. So
right.
And to be honest, maybe I was a bit nervous about it, but I love riding and I want to do it. So the only thing stopping me is my own head. So why let that get to me? So I had that mindset and myself fit enough and jumped right back on.
And, I also had a broken back injury off of a horse. Was there a moment that you had, right after it happened, when you wondered, am I going to ride again, or is this it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then the more that I went through physical therapy and got strong, and I was really encouraged by a lot of the doctors. And I am a Christian, so in my faith, I have a lot of confidence that God's going to get me through anything and everything. So basically, I just went into this situation with absolute faith that I was going to come back out, and I had on my heart that I wanted to ride again, so I did.
Well, that's great. That's a super story. And we had Kristen Vanderveen on the show, and she talked about something similar to that as well, and how that's really helped her. So that's really great to hear that was a positive in your life. We have a question from one of our viewers, and we're going to put that up on the board for you, from Equestria X. And that is, what is your favorite horse-related memory?
Oh, goodness. Okay. I have a couple, but many years ago during the Riders Tour final in Munich. I was the only double clear on a horse called Prado Cup. He's still around. He's 18 years old, but he's a difficult horse, and that moment will always stand out.
That's cool. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you to our viewers for the questions. So let's talk about the Nations Cup in Florida. You recently were part of a very young, very inexperienced, very uber talented team. And somehow you walked away with the gold medal up against very stiff competition in a 4-star Nations Cup. So talk us through that when you first, let's start with when you first got named to the team. What was that like?
Oh, and actually, by the way, that would be also right up there as winning that Nations Cup with my favorite memory. Yeah, so being named was, I remember getting the phone call, and I was so excited. And okay, it was, I knew I had an opportunity to. I knew it was, I applied and thought there was a good chance. But when it actually happened and I was named on that team, I was so excited. I think I danced around for like weeks straight, just excited for the opportunity. It's funny because I don't even think I really got nervous for it. I was too excited just to be able to do it.
Wow, I'm sure that's really cool. I love it. And what was that day like? Talk us through the morning and, walking the course and take us through that experience.
All right. Well, I woke up in the morning. My parents were actually in town. We had breakfast together, and it was just a very happy morning from the get-go. And went to the barn and rode, and typical antidote felt well. Spoke to Michael a bit, and it was fun to be able to ride around in the warm-up ring, with my Team USA polo shirt, and it was a very cool moment just to be able to go into an event like this, being able to wear the team colors and riding around with all the other team members, kind of looking at each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, there we have some pictures. Oh, I think we're losing the audio on you, Bliss, as well. Unfortunately, our connection from Wellington is not super, unfortunately, today. Let's see. Oh, we're trying to get connected. And I do apologize. Sometimes the internet connections do not work out as ideally as we would like to do. Bliss, how about if you disconnect and we bring you back on? How about you try that, and then we can see if we can get you in a better setup. Go ahead and log out and log back in, and then we can.
Sure thing.
Okay, we'll talk to you in just a second. I'll keep you entertained for the moment. Okay, so Bliss is going to disconnect and see if she can come back to us. Sometimes the wonders of technology don't always work out, but she was talking there about, being part of the Nations Cup in West Palm Beach, and that young team was stunning, and how they truly shocked the world with their performance, and winning the gold medal in their home country on the Nations Cup is truly one of the most amazing experiences there is. And Bliss is just 33 years old. And what's interesting is she was actually the elder statesman on that team. The other riders were all very, very young, but they all had that same, level of experience, but they all had, just had such a wonderful circuit in Wellington and so much success that to watch those kids, the confidence that was coming from them and the way they rode, it was like watching, experienced veterans that were out there. And actually Laura Kraut was supposed to be on that team. That's another former guest on the show. And then she had a broken collarbone injury, and so she was unable to make it. So then it ended up being basically 4 rookies on the team. And a couple weeks ago, we had Robert Bridland on the show, and he did such a good job of keeping those kids together and keeping them organized and focused on the goal. So it really was a very, very impressive thing. I want to touch on too, she was talking about her training with Michael Matz. And for all of you that are out there watching, it's so important to line up with somebody that you believe in and somebody that you trust. Obviously, not everybody can have the opportunity to ride with Mr. Matz, but there are many, many good coaches and trainers out there, and the right person will have that positive influence on you. They will teach you that great horsemanship. They will show you the ropes. They'll teach you how to overcome injuries. They'll teach you how to get through the tough times. And that's such a key element to sport, because there's good days and there's bad days, and we all know that, but it is dealing with both of those that's important. And that is when you have a really good day, you don't want to get too high, you don't want to get too excited about it, you want to just kind of stay the course. And when you have a difficult day, the same thing, don't worry about it, just it happens to everybody. And then we're going to try Bliss having again. We'll have to discuss with her Wellington cable network to get her a little better signal. She's in her new home there in Wellington. So Bliss, I was just talking there about that Nations Cup. So let's go to when you guys won. Obviously you went into it with a feeling of faith and whatever, but what watching you guys on the podium and the stage, you were so excited. What was that emotion?
Oh, it was so much fun. To win as an individual is nice, but to be honest, to win as a team is just the best feeling. I remember going in at the end, and she needed that clear round, and it was just when she pulled it off, it was so cool. I mean, just the feeling between all team members and the excitement the whole week with all of us, buzzing between each other. It was an unbelievable feeling. And then going to the podium with all of us together, knowing that we did it as a team, is very, very special.
It's interesting. I mean, exactly what you're talking about. I've had those same feelings before. And everyone that we talk to on the show, when we talk about Nations Cups, everyone feels that way. Like the best part of riding is the team environment. And yet we chose an individual sport to go into. So I find that very ironic. And maybe that is where that appreciation comes from, because you work so hard on your own, and there is all that. So maybe we, as equestrians, really appreciate that support from the team. We had Robert Bridland recently on the show. Such great success he's had as chef to keep over the past 8 years. His influence on you and your career, and how he helped you prepare for that day and is helping you to prepare for potentially Tokyo later this year.
Oh, Robert's been great. The fact that he gave me the opportunity to jump on that Nations Cup, I can't be more grateful, because I haven't had any team experience before, so I really needed an opportunity just to get my feet wet and to show that I can do it. So I'm so grateful for that. Also for the whole fact that I'm on the short list, and able to go to Europe and to jump some bigger competitions and Nations Cups, and try to prepare for what could be the Olympics coming. He's really put me in all of us in a wonderful position to not only to do the trials to see who is going to the Olympics, but also to develop ourselves and our horses and to prepare for a major event like this. I mean, I don't have all the experience with teams, so to be able to go and I'm specifically supposed to be going to SOCOT first, and then potentially we have a few others that we're going to do before they choose the Tokyo team. And he's done a wonderful job in helping to produce horses and riders to be ready for such events. It's not just like the old days when they used to basically jump Nations Cup after Nations Cup and round after round, because they had to pick the best team, the best teams possible, but all the horses were tired by the end. I mean, they basically went into the Olympic Games, deflated. And Robert really does a great job of helping us to allow our horses and riders to peak at the right moment. So I'm really looking forward to the months upcoming, because that's the building block to getting to Tokyo, which hopefully it runs.
Yes, of course. And and if you want to know more about that whole process, we talked about it extensively on the show last week with Robert, and he had some great insight. And we talked about how the team development in America has changed from the 1970s to now in 2021, and the developments of that. So it was really, really fascinating. So Bliss, let me ask you about Tokyo 2021, because of course I get asked this question, every day, and I don't know the exact answer. Of course, none of us do, with everything that's been going on in the past 14 months in the world. But what have you heard? Is Tokyo? I mean, I know you were proceeding that it is a go, but what's your insider information for Tokyo 2021?
Well, Jay, I think you know as much as I do. We're all looking forward to it and preparing as if it's happening, but obviously, I don't think anyone really knows at this point. We just do the best we can to prepare for it, and fingers crossed that it actually runs.
Yes, well, I believe it will. I think there's too much financial investment for it not to run, and how it runs exactly will be I don't know, but I believe that they will do it, and if at all possible, unless there's no possible way that they can do it. So let's hope that happens, because of course, especially as fans of equestrian, we all want to see the top show jumpers and equestrian and cross-country horses out there competing against the very best in the world. So speaking about the best in the world, if you had your choice to pick any horse from today or any horse from the past, it cannot be one of your own, but you get the ride to take one horse into one class, who are you picking?
Oh, that's a tough question. There's been a lot of amazing horses, but I think for me, the way I ride, I would pick either. Okay, if I go old school, I would say Japaluk, and then nowadays maybe Ito du Chateau from Edwina. I love those. Those two were for me very, very special.
Well, it's interesting you picked Japaloo, because I've written an article about this. I've been very public about how that's my favorite horse of all time. So that's he's absolutely such a sensational animal, and I grew up watching him. I didn't compete against him. I was in the juniors when he was a big star. But what an amazing animal. And you're right, it's such a tough decision. But yes, I would say you would ride that little French horse very, very well. It really suit your style of riding.
Thanks.
That's cool. Well, Bliss, thank you so much for being on. Best of luck this year. You've had such an incredible 2021 so far. I know Europe's going to go amazing for you. It's going to be a great experience, and if you get to Tokyo, you will make America proud. And to see you've worked so hard, but it truly is a meteoric rise that you've had up through the ranks of show jumping. And so, congratulations on all of your success.
Thank you very much, Jay.
Thank you. So next week, we are going to have a roundtable. We're loving these roundtable discussions on the Jay Duke Show on Horse Network. And we are going to tackle this difficult log. We've done it before, but now there's been more circumstances that have changed things. The battle between USEF and World Equestrian Center. So we're going to have a very interesting roundtable on that, get some different opinions, and get some feedback from the audience on what has been a very controversial few months in the horse show industry due to what's happening there with WEC and USEF. Thank you to Equishopper for being along with us today. Equishopper is your destination for every equestrian need. It's an amazing marketplace. It's the original online marketplace, and you'll go there and you'll spend hours and hours on it. It's like going on a TikTok video run. It's absolutely amazing watching what equestrian Equishopper.com has done for the equestrian sport. So check them out as well. Thank you to Carly Sparks. Thank you to Horse Network. As always, ride safely and respect the horse.